Friends, I believe deep down, each of us carries seeds of greatness, dreams that God Himself placed in our hearts. But here's the thing, those seeds only grow in the soil of action. It's not enough to wish, to hope, to dream. You've got to move toward what you desire. You attract what you act on. If you're waiting for everything to line up perfectly before you take a step, you may wait a lifetime. God responds to faith in motion. The moment you start moving, the moment you step out, doors begin to open, opportunities begin to show up, and people begin to come into your life who can help you go further than you imagine. When you act, you're sending a signal to yourself, to the world, and to heaven that you're serious about what you've been praying for. Too often, we're waiting for the right feeling, the right mood, the right moment. But feelings follow action, not the other way around. If you want to write that book, start with a single page. If you want to get healthier, take that first walk today. The blessing is not in just believing. The blessing is in the doing. Sometimes we think we have to see the whole staircase before we take the first step. No. But faith doesn't work like that. When you take one step, the next one appears. And every step you take draws the right things closer to you. Action pulls your dreams out of the realm of possibility and into the realm of reality. The truth is, you're not waiting on the dream. The dream is waiting on you. Stop saying, oh, one day. One day is not on the calendar. Today is the day. Act as if what you desire is already on its way, and you will start to attract the resources, the wisdom, and the strength to see it through. It's like a magnet. When you act, you pull the blessing towards you. You don't have to start big. You just have to start. Every great achievement began with one small, faithful action. The key is to be consistent. Keep showing up, keep sowing, keep moving. Over time, your actions will align your life with your vision. You will begin to see favor, opportunities, and divine connections that you never imagined. So make the choice today. Don't wait for everything to be perfect. Take that first step of faith. When you act, you set miracles in motion. You attract what you act on. And when you live that way, you'll see your dreams take shape, your prayers answered, and your life lifted higher than you've ever dreamed. When you have a dream in your heart, it's not there by accident. It was placed there for a reason, and it comes with the potential to be fulfilled. But potential is like a seed. It does nothing until it's planted, watered, and nurtured. Action is the water. Action is what wakes the seed up and says it's time to grow. Too many times, we believe the dream is going to show up in our laps simply because we wish for it, think about it, or pray about it. While believing is important, it's only the beginning. The truth is, action activates blessings. Until you start moving toward it, you're only circling the idea instead of stepping into it. Faith without works is like a car without fuel. It looks nice, but it won't take you anywhere. Every blessing, every breakthrough, every victory you've ever seen in your life came because you or someone else took a step toward it. The moment you start to act on your belief, things start happening in the unseen realm. Resources start shifting. People begin to cross your path. Opportunities begin to align. The action might seem small, making a phone call, sending an email, showing up to a class, but it's not small in the spiritual sense. It's a declaration. You're telling yourself, the world, and heaven that you're serious about what you've been asking for. That kind of movement attracts provision. You can't sit back and wait for all the conditions to be perfect. They rarely are. If you wait for the weather to be perfect, you'll never plant your seed. If you wait until you have all the answers, you'll never start. The key is to move with what you have. Use the tools in your hand right now. Even if they don't seem like much, God can multiply the little when you put it into motion. Think about a farmer. He doesn't get a harvest by sitting in his house and talking about seeds. He doesn't just dream about fields of wheat. He goes out into the soil, sometimes in less than ideal weather, sometimes with sore muscles, and plants the seeds. Then he keeps working, tending, watering, trusting the process. In time, the harvest comes not because he wished for it, but because he acted on it. In the same way, your action sets spiritual laws into motion. What you sow, you will reap. What you move toward will move toward you. Your dream is looking for you as much as you're looking for it. But it responds to activity, not passivity. The moment you begin, You send a signal to the universe that you're ready to receive. That's when doors begin to open that you couldn't open on your own. That's when ideas drop into your spirit that you didn't have before. That's when people with the resources you need suddenly show up in your path. Don't underestimate the power of small beginnings. Some of the greatest successes started with what seemed like insignificant steps. One conversation led to a connection. One act of obedience opened the door to a whole new season. One yes to an opportunity changed the trajectory of a person's life, but none of that happens without action. The problem is it's easier to talk ourselves out of moving forward. We say, I'm not ready, or I don't have the money, or what if I fail? But the truth is, not acting is the only guaranteed way to fail. When you step out in faith, even if you stumble, you learn, you grow, you adjust, and you get stronger. Every step, even the awkward ones, moves you closer to your goal. Action is the language of faith. You can't just tell the world you believe in your dream. You've got to show it. If you believe you're a writer, start writing. If you believe you're meant to help people, start helping someone today. If you believe you're supposed to start a business, take one small step toward building. These actions may seem small to you, but they are big in the spiritual sense because they align you with the blessing. Every time you act, you're building a bridge between where you are and where you're going. And that bridge gets stronger with each step. Before long, you'll find yourself standing in the very place you once only dreamed about. You'll look back and realize it wasn't luck, it wasn't coincidence. It was your willingness to move when you didn't have all the answers. That willingness invited the blessing in. Action says, I'm ready, I believe, I trust. And when you operate from that place, life begins to respond. The blessing doesn't just happen, it's attracted to your motion. So don't wait for a lightning bolt moment to begin. Don't wait for the perfect time, because the perfect time is now. What you're willing to act on today determines what you'll be celebrating tomorrow. The more consistent you are in your actions, the more consistent the blessings will be in your life. Keep moving, keep showing up, keep believing through your doing, and you'll find that everything you've been hoping for has been moving toward you all along. You don't have to have the whole picture before you begin. Too many dreams have been buried because someone was waiting for everything to be perfectly in place. They thought they needed more money, more time, more connections, or more confidence before taking the first step. But the truth is, big breakthroughs are often born from small beginnings. Great victories start with ordinary, even unimpressive actions. When you choose to start with what you have, where you are, you unlock a flow of momentum that can carry you further than you imagine. Every mountain you'll ever climb begins with that first step forward, and every seed that grows into a towering tree begins small and hidden beneath the soil. The key is to be faithful with the little things. When you consistently take small actions toward your goal, you are showing that you can be trusted with more. That faithfulness builds a foundation strong enough to handle bigger opportunities when they arrive. Think about a musician who dreams of playing for thousands. Before the big stage comes, they practice alone in small rooms, sometimes with no audience at all. Every scale, every rehearsal, every small performance prepares them for the day when the spotlight shines brighter. If they waited to play only when the crowd was huge, they would never be ready when the moment finally came. Your dream is the same. The small steps you take today are training ground for the bigger blessings tomorrow. It's easy to get discouraged when the progress feels slow, but don't confuse small beginnings with insignificant ones. A single act of discipline, waking up early, saving a small amount of money, making one phone call may not seem like much on its own, but multiplied over time, it becomes powerful. Starting small also removes the pressure to be perfect right away. You don't have to launch the whole business today. You can start by researching, by learning, by creating a small prototype. You don't have to transform your health in 1 week. You can start with one healthier meal, one workout, one walk around the block. These small choices might not look like much to others, but they're the building blocks of lasting change. Momentum is a powerful thing. When you take that first step, even if it's small, it builds confidence. That confidence fuels the next step. and soon you find yourself moving faster and stronger than you thought possible. It's like pushing a heavy boulder. At first it barely moves, but once it starts rolling, it gains speed and power. Starting small keeps you from being overwhelmed. It gives you the chance to grow into the person who can handle the dream you're chasing. Too often, people want the blessing without the process. But the process is what shapes you, strengthens you, and makes sure that when the bigger doors open, you're ready to walk through them with confidence. The small beginnings are where you learn persistence, discipline, and trust. You learn to keep going even when no one is watching, to believe in your vision even when there's no applause. And those lessons are what will carry you when the stakes are higher. Every big dream comes with a waiting period, a season where you are planting, watering, and nurturing before you see the harvest. That's why consistency is so important. If you take one small action today and another tomorrow, before long you'll look up and realize how far you've come. The road to your dream is rarely one giant leap. It's thousands of small, faithful steps taken one after the other. Even when it feels like nothing is happening, trust that the seeds you've planted are growing beneath the surface. Just because you can't see it yet doesn't mean it's not working. Keep sowing, keep tending, keep moving forward. One day, the small steps you took will add up to something extraordinary. And when that day comes, you'll see that starting small was never a limitation. It was the smartest, most powerful way to begin. What matters most is that you begin. Not next month, not next year, but now. Take the smallest step you can today. Then take another tomorrow. Stay faithful in the little things and watch as they multiply into the big things you've been praying for. Faith is not just believing that something will happen. Faith is acting as if it is already on its way. Too many people sit back and wait for the right conditions, the right timing, the perfect signs before they start moving toward their dream. They think they need to see the entire picture before they take the first step. But real faith works in motion. It's like a river. Once it begins to flow, it gains power, it gains reach, and it pulls everything in its path along with it. When you move toward what you desire, when you step out before all the answers are clear, you create a powerful pull that draws the right opportunities, people, and resources into your life. It's a spiritual law. You attract not just what you think about, but what you act upon. You can dream for years, you can plan for decades, but until you start moving, nothing changes. The moment you begin to take action, even small action, something shifts. That step says, I trust that what I need will meet me along the way. It's an act of alignment. You're aligning your behavior with your belief. And that alignment is magnetic. It pulls the unseen into the seen, the hoped for into the experience. Faith in motion is what makes the impossible possible. Think about how a seed grows. When you plant it, you don't see instant results. Put it in the soil and you water it, trusting that in time it will break through the ground. You don't dig it up every day to check if it's working. You take action by planting and watering, and you trust the process to do the rest. That's how it is with your dreams. You take the step you can see, you do the work you can do, and you trust that the rest will align. When you act in faith, you stop waiting for certainty and start walking in trust. Faith doesn't eliminate the unknown, it moves through it. The unknown is not your enemy. It's the space where miracles grow. But miracles don't grow when you're standing still. They respond to movement, to action, to risk. Acting as if your dream is already on its way doesn't mean you're pretending. It means you're stepping into the reality you believe is coming. It's like getting your house ready for a guest. You clean, you prepare, you make space. You haven't seen them yet, but you act as if they are on their way, and that preparation makes you ready to receive. In the same way, when you prepare for your dream, by building your skills, by creating the environment, by positioning yourself, you are telling life, I'm ready, and life responds. Acting in faith also changes you on the inside. It builds resilience, confidence, and courage. Every time you take a step without knowing the full outcome, you strengthen your ability to trust yourself and your vision. You train your mind to focus on possibilities instead of limitations. You begin to see solutions instead of problems. And that shift in mindset draws more of the right things toward you. The truth is, opportunities rarely arrive wrapped neatly with the label that says, this is it. They often come disguised as small openings, unexpected conversations, or challenges that force you to grow. When you're moving in faith, you are more likely to recognize these moments for what they are, stepping stones toward your dream. Standing still makes it easy to miss them, but motion makes you alert, engaged, and ready. Acting as if also forces you to rise to the level of your dream. If you want to be a leader, start leading in small ways today. If you want to be a business owner, treat your current job or project with the same responsibility and creativity you would bring to your own company. If you want to be healthier, live like someone who already values their health. Choose the nourishing meal, take the walk, rest when needed. These choices are not just actions, they are declarations of identity. They say, this is who I am becoming, and they attract circumstances that match that identity. Faith in motion is not reckless, it's intentional. It doesn't ignore preparation or wisdom. It simply refuses to wait until all the lights turn green before leaving the driveway. If you wait for every obstacle to disappear, you'll never start. If you wait until you feel no fear, you'll stay in the same place. Courage is not the absence of fear, it's the decision to act despite it. When you move forward in faith, you'll discover that many of the obstacles you feared either shrink or disappear as you approach them. Things you thought were impossible suddenly become manageable because the act of moving gives you access to resources you couldn't see from a distance. Sometimes the very people you need to meet, the very information you need to learn, the very opportunities that will change your life are waiting on the other side of a single step you've been afraid to take. And here's the beauty of faith in motion. It's contagious. Your willingness to act inspires others to do the same. People are drawn to those who are moving, who are pursuing something bigger than themselves. As you take action, you'll find yourself surrounded by others who can help, encourage, and support you. That's not by accident. That's the magnetic pull of faith. Acting as if your dream is already on the way also teaches patience and persistence. You may not see instant results, and that's okay. Seeds don't grow overnight, and neither do dreams. But each action you take is like a deposit into your future. Over time, those deposits add up, and suddenly you find yourself living in the very reality you once imagined. The world responds differently to someone who is moving versus someone who is standing still. Doors open for movers. Ideas flow to movers. People invest in movers. Why? Because movement signals commitment. It shows you're not just talking, you're building. You're not just wishing, you're working. That energy, that commitment is magnetic. Acting as if also keeps your vision alive when the road gets tough. There will be setbacks, delays, and moments of doubt. But when you're in motion, you have less time to dwell on fear and more time to focus on progress. Every step you take reminds you why you started, and that reminder fuels the next step, even if you stumble forward. You learn, you adjust, you grow, and over time, the very act of staying in motion becomes a source of strength and stability. The truth is, you will never be fully ready for your dream before you start. Readiness comes from the journey itself. The experiences you gain, the lessons you learn, the people you meet along the way. These are the things that prepare you. Waiting for readiness is just another way of letting fear hold the pen in your story. But when you act, even imperfectly, you take back that pen and begin writing the life you want. Faith works in motion, changes everything. It changes you, it changes your circumstances, and it changes the way the world responds to you. The moment you start living as if your dream is on its way, your energy shifts. You begin to carry yourself differently. You start speaking differently. You make decisions with your future in mind, not just your present. And all of those changes send a signal, a powerful signal that you are ready to receive. So don't let another day go by waiting for the perfect moment. Is the one you decide to start. Take the step you've been avoiding. Make the call, begin the project. Walk toward the thing you've been praying for. Your motion will draw it closer. Your action will prepare you for it, and your faith will make room for it in your life. Remember, you attract not just what you think, not just what you hope, but what you act upon. Faith in motion is the bridge between the life you have and the life you dream about. Step onto that bridge today, and you'll be amazed at what meets you along the way.